Well, hey, good day to you. This is Todd. I am a regular dude walking in the Word. As we're going through Leviticus here, this is episode 29, and it's entitled Do Not Imitate Egypt. We're going to look at the first 5 verses of chapter 18. And this is basically saying, hey, don't imitate Egypt where you just came from, and don't imitate the people of Canaan where you're going to. You got to be separate. You got to be different than those people. And we're going to get into the next few days here some stuff that, again, you probably don't want the kids listening to you with, the young kids. The adults, yes, please listen to it. But some stuff that is very direct about the ways that God wanted you to live, especially sexually, which was not like the world was living, okay? So let me read here chapter 18, verses 1 through 5. And when we read this, understand that Egypt is a picture of the world to the church. When we look at Egypt, it's a picture of the world to us. So anyway, let's read here. This is chapter 18 of Leviticus, verses 1 through 5. It says this: The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, I am the Lord your God." Starts out, I'm the Lord your God. Your God. Not other people's God necessarily, your God. You must not do as they do in Egypt, where you used to live, and you must not do as they do in the land of Canaan, where I'm bringing you to. Do not follow their practices. Okay? So that's verse 3 there. Don't be doing what they did in Egypt, and you're separate people. And don't be doing what they did in Canaan. You're God's people here. Verse 4, you must obey my laws and be careful to follow my decrees. I am the Lord your God. Keep my decrees and laws, for the person who obeys them will live by them. I am the Lord. Okay? So again, Egypt is a picture of the world and how we're supposed to live different. Basically, we're not to be imitating Egypt and like trying to be exactly like the Egyptians. You have people like that today. Hopefully you're not one of them that is trying to live just like the world and not being separate from the world. But if a question you have to ask yourself is this: if someone were to come up to you, would they know the difference between you and someone who's living for themselves in the world? If they can't tell the difference between you, who's following Jesus, and someone who's just living out to please themselves and follow the world, then we got problems here, okay? We're called to be separate from that. There's also some other verses in the New Testament that is talked about, not to imitate the world, but actually to imitate other Christians and other Christian leaders. So I had it. I'd also recommend, whenever you have need a Bible app on your phone, the Blue Letter Bible is an excellent resource. You can easily, use it as a concordance. It has all these translations, commentary in there. So anyway, a lot of good stuff here. So in First Corinthians 1 Corinthians 11:1. It says, imitate me just as I also imitate Christ. Okay? So hopefully you're one that's imitating Christ and people can imitate you. If I'm living just like the world, I'm getting drunk every weekend, sleeping around with other women and all that, I'm not imitating Christ, and so people better not be imitating me. But if I'm living for the Lord and doing the best I can to serve Christ and honor him, then hopefully other people can imitate you. Okay? 3 John, and that's toward the end of the New Testament, 3 John, verses 1 through chapter 1, verse 11. It says this: Beloved, do not imitate what is evil, but what is good. He who does good is of God, but he who does evil has not seen God. Okay? So the bottom line with all this is it's real simple. Don't be imitating the world, which, again, here we're looking at Egypt, and Egypt is a picture of the world. Don't be imitating that. If you're really a Christian, we're imitating God. We're imitating Jesus. And that's who we need to be imitating, not trying to be as close to the world as possible and imitating the world. All right? So that's my challenge to you. And again, look at yourself. If you can ask yourself, hey, can someone see, am I imitating the world or am I imitating God? And if someone can look at you and they can't tell the difference between you and the world, something's wrong. Okay? So anyway, thanks for watching. I'm just a regular dude walking in the Word, and I ask you to continue joining me as we go through Leviticus, especially these next couple episodes. There are going to be some sticky subjects here. All right, thanks. We'll see you later.